Hi, my name is Chineye and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're interested in fragrances, you want to find your next signature scent, you want to build a perfume collection, you want to understand why people care so much about smelly water, you're in the right place. We have a lot of fun here, so definitely like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. And I'm way more fun on TikTok, so follow me on there too. As always, all fragrances will be linked in the description. If I can find a cheeky little discount for you, I will make sure to include it. Do not blind buy, always sample. Let's get into today's video. The citrus fragrances get a bad rep for not being long lasting, but it's because of the nature of their molecules. There's a reason why citrus fragrances dissipate quickly. They are typically the top or mid notes in fragrances, but not usually the base notes. Fortunately for you, I have tasked myself with finding some of the longest lasting citrus fragrances. Of course, it's still a citrus fragrance. It is not going to last 10, 12, 24 hours the way your ouds, your woody, your saffron fragrances will. But as far as citrus fragrances go, these will get you 6 hours with really good projection. First of all, we have Mont Blanc Signature. This fragrance is literally like $35. It is an oldie, but it's definitely still a goodie. This has notes of clementine, magnolia, ylang, peony, vanilla, musk, and sandalwood. And I really like how the citrus note here is clementine as opposed to your typical bergamot or mandarin orange. You definitely get the difference between a clementine and like a mandarin orange when you smell this. On first spray, Signature comes off very creamy, almost like an orange creamsicle. I struggle with yellow florals because sometimes they overwhelm the fragrance and then they make it become very solar, very sunscreeny. But the ylang here is executed very well and it doesn't overwhelm the composition. There isn't really anything solar or sunscreeny about this fragrance. The vanilla in the base of Signature is a very warm vanilla, complemented with the benzoin, so the overall vibe of this fragrance is warm. I know that when people are going to the beach, they opt for very coconutty or marine fragrances, but this is my go-to fragrance for going to the beach. And 8 out of 10 times when I wear this fragrance, I get a compliment, somebody telling me that I smell like an orange creamsicle. This fragrance is creamy, a little bit fresh from the peony, and then there's also something in the background of this fragrance that gives almost like a luxurious lotion vibe, almost like a clean girl vibe. If you're looking for an immaculate blend of creamy florals, clementines, and the richest, warmest vanilla, definitely recommend Mont Blanc Signature. Speaking of long-lasting citrus fragrances, nobody is doing it like Suspiro. When it comes to a long-lasting, nuclear, fill-up-a-room citrus fragrance, you can always count on Suspiro. This is Dulce Melodia with notes of orange, mandarin orange, pear, blackcurrant, saffron. This is such a juicy, pulpy, orange kind of fragrance. And then there's also something creamy about it from the jasmine, gardenia, and sandalwood. This fragrance honestly reminds me of Secret Bonds Reinvented. It is a similar vibe, except that this one is more on the orange, juicier, zesty side. This fragrance honestly reminds, this fragrance is in the same family as, this fragrance is in this, Dulce Melodia is in the same family as Dulce Melodia is in the same family as Reinvented Secret Bond. The only difference is that that fragrance, Dulce Melodia is in the same family as Reinvented Secret Bond. The only difference is that Secret Bond leans more gourmand, you get more of the caramel and less of the juiciness, while Dulce Melodia is truly like an orange juice fruit medley. If you've ever had Tampico, that is exactly what Dulce Melodia smells like. Citrus notes can go zesty, they can be a little bit tangy, they can be citric, they can be juicy, they can be pulpy. This is a juicy and pulpy citrus. It literally smells like you're downing a tall glass of an orange forward like fruit medley. I know a lot of people are skeptical of white florals. You see notes like gardenia, jasmine, and then rose, and you're like, okay, this is not for me. But I promise you that these notes are just secondary to the major fruity composition. They are just there in the background to add a little bit of depth and a little bit of creaminess to the fragrance. Honestly, if you didn't tell me that there was a rose note in here, I wouldn't know. A lot of brands get away with making their fragrances long-lasting by adding an obnoxious amount of musk. But Dulce Melodia is not like that. It's not that Ever Pura kind of musk. Very screechy, very like rough on your nose, literally burning away your nose hairs when you inhale it. Dulce Melodia will cost you a pretty penny. Retail of this fragrance is close to $300, but you can definitely find it for about $180 on the discount websites. I'll put some links in the description. Even though this is a very juicy and sweet fragrance, there is nothing juvenile about it. And I think that is why the addition of the saffron and the floral notes are very important, because they add this depth that stop the fragrance from just smelling like sweet orange juice. You are a lover of orange fragrances and you want to smell slurpable this summer, Dulce Melodia is definitely one that you should get your nose on. And you can grab a 5 ml sample of Dulce Melodia from Scentsplit using my code Chineye10. Another long-lasting citrus Suspiro fragrance is Vibrato, but the star of this fragrance is grapefruit. I actually didn't really realize a lot of people don't like grapefruit in fragrance until I went on TikTok. I always describe this fragrance as smelling like a Moscow meal. That is exactly what this smells like to me. It has notes of grapefruit, bergamot, magnolia, ginger, a herbal note, powdery note, orris and musk in the base. If you can't tell, this fragrance definitely has something powdery going for it. So if you're not a fan of powdery fragrances, I don't think you're going to like this. It's nothing too crazy. It doesn't have a vintage vibe, but there's definitely something a little bit powdery going on in Vibrato. I remember the first time I tried this fragrance, this was actually the first citrus fragrance that I tried. And I was like, wait, like citrus fragrances can be long lasting. And then I looked up the notes and I saw a herbal note and I was like, what is that? And then you look at the image on Fragrantica and then you see like a leaf with like water on it. And I'm like, is this going to smell like wet grass? Like, is that what a herbal note is? This is green, but it definitely doesn't smell like wet grass. The ginger, the grapefruit and bergamot together is chef's kiss. The ginger is able to add a little bit of like a tang to the fragrance. It's so good. I have seen people compare Vibrato to Bulgari's Tiger, and there's also this fragrance by Goldfield and Banks. I think it's called Pacific Rock Moss or something. Yes, they all smell similar, but Vibrato is superior. Vibrato is bright, it's sparkling, it's fresh, it's definitely unisex. Some people might say that it leans a little bit more masculine, but the ladies can definitely wear this. I wear Vibrato. If you've ever heard people use the adjective effervescent to describe a fragrance and you're thinking to yourself, like, what does that even mean? This is a great fragrance to understand that. It has almost like a sparkling, bubbly kind of vibe. So yeah, if you're trying to smell like a Moscow mule this summer and you want your fragrance to last 6 hours with pretty good projection, I definitely recommend Vibrato by Suspiro. That is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and see you in the next one.